All right, so let me stop that real quick. So here on the pads, what I'm doing is I'm taking the stereo stem, as you guys can see here. It's a 2-channel stereo stem from the pads, as you typically would expect from any virtual synth. However, by using the Nugen Halo Upmix, I'm able to distribute that across the 3D immersive soundscape. And this plugin is actually really simple to use. Apart from just instantiating it and choosing the outputs to be the beds in Pro Tools, it's really simple. So basically what you have here is you have a visual image of the 3D environment. In front of you, you have LCR, which is reflective of the left, center, right channel. Speakers, those are speakers in front of me. Then you have left side, left rear, right rear, side rear, and then top overheads. Now, this is where it's a little tricky for new engineers coming into Dolby Atmos, because the Dolby minimum recommendation configuration is 7.1.4, which is 7 surround speakers, 0.1 for the sub or LFE, and then 4 speakers in the overheads, which are ceiling speakers. So in my studio, I have 7.1.4, which means I have 2 speakers above me, in front of me, and 2 speakers above me, behind me. However, Pro Tools treats that area as a stereo pair, if you will. And so these plugins, you can solo this and adjust the ceiling speaker volume, but you can't separate between front and rear. So that's why a lot of people use object beds instead of the Pro Tools bed. However, with this plugin, I'm able to distribute that sound across the immersive landscape. So let me go ahead and turn everything off for you. All right, so this is going to be equivalent to what you're going to hear originally from the pads. So here you see most of the information is coming from the left, right, center, and then the overheads, which is treated just by a single set of outputs. Now what I can do is I can spread this so that it's going to be mostly left and right and not so much in the center. And that's a really nice image right there on speakers. So I'll leave a little bit of the center, but not too much. But now this is where it really gets fun. Because with these dials, I can adjust how much of that I want it to be dispersed across the side channels. And this is where you're really going to start hearing it. So with it all the way up, I'm hearing that more spread out across the side speakers. Now let's distribute that across the side speakers and the rear speakers. So that right there is a departure from stereo by all means, because the original stereo sounds like this, right in front of me, but now I'm spreading that across the entire room. This plugin also allows you to solo each channel, so you can hear what's going on. So that's the overheads right there. Even though it shows you 1 pair, it's actually 2 pairs, because Pro Tools is sending that to the 4 speakers, or the renderer it is actually. The rear speakers, which are back here, and the side speakers, which are here. Cool, let's listen to that in context with the piano, because obviously the pads aren't the main instrument in the song, but they do play a big contributing factor to the mix. Now what's beautiful about this is that I have the pianos like right in front of me, but the pads are just being spread around the room. So it's hard to tell where they're coming from. I just know that I'm being immersed in the pad sound. I'm also using the Halo Upmix on the guitar slides, which happen over here. So let's listen to that with the acoustic guitars. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on this plugin is that you can adjust the vertical phase. So this kind of shifts the energy from being here and then elevates it up there by sliding this slider up. Watch. That's being reflected there on the ceiling speakers. And now that's being more on the surround speakers. So it's really cool. I mean, you can definitely hear this in a room. On headphones, it's a little bit tricky. Obviously, you're dealing with drivers and binaural mix. But in a room, just being able to take a sound, distributing it across all the speakers, and then elevating that, it's so much control with just a few parameters, which I really enjoy. So that is the Halo Upmix. There's another plugin by Nugen, which is called the Paragon. And what I like about this is one of the first immersive audio reverb plugins in the market. Now, it's not just a reverb plugin, but it's a convolution reverb plugin. So in attempts to creating a realistic space, the guys here have done a phenomenal job at capturing the impulse response from different locations. And here you can manipulate that to your heart's desire. Let's listen to what this sounds like with the lead vocal. So this is going to be before.
My head right low and shame, I would go down the road to my father's house.
And after.
My head right low and shame, I would go down the road to my father's house.
Again, you're not going to see it distributed across the room here on the renderer because this is using the bed, so you're going to see it dancing here in the meters while the lead vocal is up front.
My head right low and shame, I would go down the road to my father's house.
Okay, cool. So that's what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and dive into the settings. All right, so first of all, you have the main controls, which shows you the room, the 712, not the room, but the 712 bed. Similar to Halo Upmix. And here you can solo each band just like you can on Halo Upmix. Okay, so that's all common stuff. The fun stuff is actually here in the IR page where you can adjust the reverb mode. Now I noticed that for vocals, I love using plates, I love using chambers, sometimes hall, but chamber works really, really good with vocals. This is unique to this reverb plugin that I haven't seen in other plugin developers before. It looks like an EQ, but you can adjust the amplitude as well. So this really shifts the tonal qualities of that impulse response. So not only do you pick like chamber or church or hall or plate, but you can actually adjust the characteristics or the tonal characteristics of that impulse response.
My head right low in shame, I would go down the road to my father's house. Still far off his eyes I caught, what will he do with me now?
So for example, by using the decay to bring down the high frequency information, I'm able to get a little bit more clarity on the vocals in front of me, but it's still spreading the reverb across the rest of the speakers. So that's unique to this plugin. The other thing that I like about this is on main, I can choose the pre-delay to synchronize to the tempo. So I have the tempo set here to 16th notes. However, on the other channels, like the side channels or the rear channels or the overhead channels, I can increase that. So what I'm able to do is create like a cascading reverb effect so that in front of me, it's a shorter pre-delay, but as the sound comes near me, like next to me on the side channels, it's a longer pre-delay, and then on the rear channels, it's even longer. I'll exaggerate this for demo purposes, and you guys can hear that.
My head right low in shame, I would go down the...
Okay, and I can even turn off the fronts and I'll only hear the sides and the rears. Check it out.
My head right low in shame, I would go down the road to my father's house. Still far off.
So really, really cool stuff. Let's go ahead and bring that back to a musical value. And let's bring this back and let's hear it in context with the mix.
My head
So hopefully you guys learned a lot on how to use these plugins for creating Dolby Atmos music mixes, featuring the Nugen Audio, Halo Upmix, and Paragon. I'll leave a link to the plugins down below so you guys can check them out for yourselves, demo them, and give those guys a shout. Also, if you enjoyed the song, I'll leave a link to the artist link and song link from YouTube. Thanks again, Alan and the group. Hope you see India allowing me to use this for this video demonstration. My name again is Alex with Alex Pro Mix. If this is your first time watching, this channel was created for you, the artist, the producer, and the engineer. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you again real soon. Peace.